Welcome back to our garden here in Zone 6A, upstate New York. Today we are adding in a compact boxwood alternative and some Angelonia.
Here in the back garden, we have two specimen trees. This is our paper bark maple, and behind me is a Princeton century ginkgo. You will notice that the beds are cut out to be square. We did that because King Charles in England has his fruit trees underplanted with lavender. It's really beautiful. So we said, let's do it too. The first year we planted a marigold, which ended up being so bushy, it got into the lawn. It was hard to maintain. And then we actually did try lavender last year, which looked beautiful. But because this is only watered by overhead sprinklers, we have a lot of humidity in the cold winters, did not have a good survival rate. So we're going to be replacing that with Strongbox. It's an Inkberry Holly, Ilex glaubra. That'll give us a nice, shiny, informal style hedge. And then behind that, we'll be adding in the annual Angelonia for some flower power. Eric, first I think we should tidy up these edges and get this bed ready for planting. All right, he's got the power tool.
We've got the power tool. Every spring we fresh cut all of our edges and then we maintain them throughout the season with our weed whacker. We've gone through this before in a video about how we keep our edges fresh and clean. We turn our weed whacker on the side. I think I want to do this first instead of after because I think it'll give us a better visual of the straight lines we're going to be working with along the square. Luckily, we do have some fading lavender. I think we can just pop those out and replace them with the Strongbox.
Should be an easy planting.
All right, so we turn our weed whacker on the side. And we're gonna line it up with the edge of the square, and it's just gonna give us a nice, tidy edge to work with. You can tell we've just had a tremendous summer storm, so we're very wet and very humid out here. I wonder what the humidity level is, Christopher.
It's in the high 90s.
There's a hummingbird right behind you. Oh, and there it goes.
Oh, there it goes. Oh,
Sorry.
It's on the Sensation honeysuckle, and there it goes.
Oh, sorry, easily distracted in the garden. All right, so very humid, very wet, but always fun to spend some time in the garden. You want to know one of the most important lessons I learned about while doing this?
What was it?
Keep my lips tightly closed.
Oh, I believe that. I bet you were out here humming or singing, and all of a sudden you had a mouthful of lawn.
Yep. And you can tell by my glasses right now that if you don't wear glasses, you might want to consider some protective eyewear. All right, let's do this one as well. I think there was a time where we as gardeners would have obsessed about making these like absolutely perfect squares, but I think we've evolved beyond that. Now we get it.
We get it. It's about the visual. It's about the experience. It's not about perfection.
And I'm happy with that visual and that experience.
All right, I'm thinking these are going to be really easy. Oh, they're going to be really easy to remove.
Yeah, I feel like dead plants are always pretty easy to remove.
I was like, oh, am I going to need to get a different shovel? But I do have my glorious Thornat trowel.
I really wish that the lavender lived. I think there's one on the corner right there too.
Oh yeah, there is.
Yeah, so I think there's what, a total of 16 in each square, right?
There are, and I'm feeling like we have enough to do the 16 on each. We were very happily, we could get ourselves a hold of quite a few nice Strongbox hollies.
Yeah, I thought we were getting little quart sizes, but it's nice we have 1 gallons.
Yeah,
so
we have the 1 gallons.
A little more instant impact. We have 1, 2, 3, we have 6 of them already in the garden, up in the green walls, like you mentioned earlier. And they have stayed like reasonably about the same size the last couple of years, would you say?
They have. You know, they get full sun all day long. They do get a bit of overspray from the sprinkler. Obviously, they get rain. But for the last 2 years, they've just kind of hung out, which tells us maybe they just don't grow all that fast. And we'll see what they do when they have, well, this time of year, they're going to be getting daily watering because the lawn needs it.
Yep. And it's like our storm season here.
Yeah, and we have not had storms like we've been having in years. It is so cool, the thunder and lightning we've been having.
Oh, a breeze.
Oh, that's a nice breeze.
It's been a tremendous amount of humidity. So I'm happy to have this breeze. Do you remember when we just did this on a whim one day?
Yeah.
It was just like one afternoon, we thought, let's make these squares.
Right. We just, you get a gardening idea and then you produce.
Yeah, I think it was me. I saw it on Instagram and I was like, oh, that looks really cool. Let's just do it.
Let's do it.
All right, so we've got our squares all cleaned out. We are now ready to place our 32 Strongbox Inkberry Hollies. We've got our Strongbox laid out. It's a little haphazard, but we have a general idea of where everything is going. There's 5 on each side. So here's how I like to do hedging. I like to work from the outside to the inside, outside, inside, kind of in that pattern. So the first thing I'm gonna do is remove these 3 Strongbox from the little mini hedge. And I'm gonna make sure that I place the corners appropriately. So I'm gonna get these 2 corners planted first, okay? And then I'll probably actually go around and do all 4 corners. Then I would come back in and center this one visually between these 2. If you don't want to do like the measuring stick and you could cut a stick and space them perfectly and all that. We're not gonna do that today. But that's what we would do, is then go in and plant the center one in each one. And then it breaks it down now, because now I'm gonna go here and find the center of this one, plant it, then go to these 2 and find the center of this one and plant it. So it's just a nice way to take away that overwhelming feeling of trying to get things perfectly straight and perfectly spaced. So if I go corners first, then center, and then center of the center, I think that's gonna be a pretty foolproof way to make sure that our hedge is visually very lined up and appealing.
I think that's going to be great. And this particular kind of holly is known to have branching all the way to the ground. So it's definitely like a globe shape and it'll cover up any mismatched trunks.
I'm going to use the auger, which is a little louder than your gorgeous little trowel, but this is a twist and plant auger. It looks like it'd be too small for a 1 gallon can, but it's really simple because you just put it in the center and then you stir it around like this and it'll be good to go.
Go for it. I'm sure you just realized that this soil is wet and it's a lot of compost, so it's really easy to dig. I'm just gonna put a single handful of the, 2 handfuls of the Penobscot Blend planting soil. It's a Coast of Maine product. We put in all of our shrubs, perennials, and tree holes. Has some mycorrhizal fungi, lots of goodies from the sea, I guess you could call it. And then I'm just gonna place this kind of in the hole like that for now, because Eric is very particular in a way that I am not as particular. So I want him to adjudicate my planting location before I commit. Like when you're putting things together and you're only you tighten the screw just enough to make sure things are correct.
That's where you're at in the process?
That's where I'm at in the process.
All right. All of these are pretty uniform too, but sometimes when you're planting a hedge of plants, the plants have a big variation in their size or shape, but these are
really
uniform.
Pretty close.
So as long as we get our corners right,
everything else falls in.
Yeah.
Did I do it?
Gorgeous.
Applaud for me, everyone.
Oh shoot, I left my Penobscot over there.
Here, ready?
Oh, sure.
I'm gonna
throw some at me, I dare you. All right. Thank you.
I did figure we'd run into some maple roots at some point, and I found one.
I mean, it's such a baby tree, but obviously the roots are gonna be putting in overtime to grow. This is a little mucky here. I wonder how these Strongbox will do.
Well, good thing you asked. These can take a bit of a moist or, they're an adaptable shrub. Strongbox Inkberry Holly is a female of the species. There are certain plants where you have, your boys and your girls. This female will give you those little black inkberries.
But only if you have the pollinator, right?
Right, which is called, Proven Winners has one called Squeezebox, but that's the name of their male.
I wonder why they named it Squeezebox.
Yeah, Squeezebox is the boy, and there's Strongbox. At one point, there was one called Jukebox, and I can't remember the other name.
How does that look space-wise to you?
Space-wise, it's perfect.
And it looks very lined up this way.
Yeah, this will come together very nicely. And I know they call this inkberry because in the Civil War, the soldiers would crush the berries to make ink to write letters back home.
Now, could we stop here? Yes. Are we going to stop here?
Absolutely not.
No, because If we do this here, it'll be much fuller, much quicker. So I think we should.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. It'll be a nice, I want to call this semi-formal because it's not going to have that. Yes, we're going to be able to shape it. We can make it a little more squared on the edges, but this isn't going to be the kind of plant that holds those crisp boxwood or hedge lines.
What's also good about using this little auger is the whole soil gets loose enough so that I can like shift the plant around in the soil.
Yeah.
After the fact to make sure it's perfectly lined up. It is a shame that lavender doesn't thrive for us.
We are simply not Mediterranean. Although we'd like to be in the Mediterranean.
Oh, right now, yes. What do you think?
I think it looks perfect.
I think
a really
it
nice
is
tidy hedge.
nice and tidy. It looks good. I think we should get the other one planted and then we'll come back and show you the really cute annuals that we're putting in the center. And there we have it. We have our hedge of 16 Strongbox Inkberry Hollies planted in a almost perfect square underneath our Princeton Century Ginkgo.
I think it's perfect.
I think it's as close as we're gonna get. It's good enough for us. And now we wanna just add a little bit of fun in the center. So we went down to the garden center. You know, this time of year, the choices aren't as abundant as earlier in the season, but that's okay because we found the absolute perfect annual. This is called Angelface Super Blue Angelonia augustifolia. So this is a full sun annual that stays nice and upright. It gets about 30 to 40 inches tall, and it'll start to branch out as the season progresses. You could deadhead it. You might not want to deadhead it. You don't have to. That's one of the great things about Proof of Winners annuals is they're pretty much plant it and forget it. It does have a fragrance. They say it smells like grape soda. Now, there were only 18 of them at the garden center, so we have 9 for this bed and 9 for that bed. So I'm wondering, like spacing wise, what it's going to look like because it's not an even number. So do you think maybe a circle of 9? If there's 3, 3, 3, 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I was like, an odd number is not going to work, but 8 works.
8 works perfectly. So we'll just pick the 8 most floriferous. How's that?
Yeah, and then we'll have 2 left over. I like that though.
I think that's going to be a really nice little vertical interest.
And I'm sure we can find a spot in the landscape to pop an Angelonia or 2 in. But let's lay out the other 8 and then we'll add some continuous release fertilizer to them and get them in the ground.
These are also bred to be more disease resistant than other Angelonias, so I did check to make sure that they'd be okay with the overhead watering.
That's a good idea. All right.
Then some sprinkle. Oh, wow. These are going to
Those are ready.
Very happy. Oh, and I did also read that this has, since it's something we haven't planted, I double checked it. It can take mucky soil, and once established, it can take drought.
Oh,
so
very versatile. I'm just setting them in. I'm going to let you add the continuous release and then plant them up.
All right. Well, I'll just follow behind you.
All right. These will be very happy to be in the ground.
Yeah, these are going to root out quickly.
Yeah, the roots are enormous. Because it's super wet, I'm going to take the time to go ahead and fluff up the grass along the edge so it doesn't get damaged. You know what I mean?
Since we've been kneeling on it.
Yeah.
They're so good, Eric.
You know what? It was a beast to plant in this current weather. As you can see, we are drenched and filthy, but I think it was well worth it. The last step is to water them in. Yes, it's very wet out, it's very humid, it's very moist, but this is an important step no matter what, because it's gonna help settle the root balls and settle any air pockets or anything we might have left behind when planting. So, and it's gonna cool me off a little bit.
Yeah, we could do with the cooling. I have to say, the Angelonia, the color's really nice. Oh, here comes the sun too. We had a nice overcast bit of morning, but it's a really kind of rich royal purple.
I wonder if the sun will burn off some of this humidity.
That would be very nice.
It'll be very nice. So we're just gonna water these in, and then as soon as the humidity passes, which should be in a couple days, right? We can get out here and mow the lawn and tidy this all up, and it'll be just gorgeous heading into the rest of the summer.
I think it's our turn to get hosed off now, so if you'd like to see more of the garden, go ahead and look at this video on the screen.
And please make sure to click like and subscribe so you can see how our square beds fill in. Again, I'm Eric.
And I'm
And
Christopher.
we're Grow For Me Gardening.
Thanks for growing with us.